Johnny here. Welcome to another LEGO Hogwarts update. I am back from my little holiday. As you might have noticed, I didn't post any video in the last month. Well, basically, I skipped one video as I tend to post a video once every 2 weeks. And yeah, first time since the channel's inception that I have actually skipped a beat in my videos, but I too deserve and need a bit of a break. But I am back now and I have something to show you that has been changed and improved since the last time I've shown you something. Now the other side of the castle, as you see, is missing there. It's right over here. I just placed it away in this circumstance just because I want to show you something in particular. And one thing that I really wanted to do before I record this video, but I'm not really sure when it will actually happen, so I just decided to go ahead, is the tables. I have actually removed one of my tables here where I usually film, because I'm planning to change them a little bit, buy a few different kinds of tables, because these are kind of ugly, and one of them was actually damaged, the one that you don't see anymore. But yeah, I really wanted to put them in place, but that has been delayed by a couple of days, maybe a week or 10 days, and I really didn't want to delay this anymore. But basically the castle is getting big, as you might have noticed, and since we'll be starting to work on different sides of the castle that need to be placed, like, well, this one here, it means that I will usually need more space to build, which is fine. I mean, I can put the sides and the pieces and the parts that are already built aside while I'm building, so this even is enough space. But when I'm filming and I want to show you things, I really like to put things in perspective and really show the whole thing if possible, for as long as it's possible, obviously. So yeah, really looking forward to adding a few more tables, which will really, some of them will be movable, will not really be stuck as these ones are in the corner of the room, and will allow me to, basically, it will make my life easier. I have changed, well, added, first of all, the rock pattern here on this side. Behind these rocks is the kitchens that I showed you last time with the split trays. Now, initially, I wanted to make this cover, which is similar to the cover over here in the back, which can be removed, as you already know, like this. And I really wanted to make this cover here maybe split into 2 or 3 parts initially, so it's easier to remove and it doesn't really get stuck, or it doesn't fall into my hands like while I try to pull it out. But I'm not really sure, but for some reason I ended up making this whole thing, even the little corner here, one whole piece, which I'm not really sure I will keep, but it just, as I was building, it just, that's the way it turned out. Looking at it, it's nothing special. I mean, I see some people doing amazing things with rock work. Obviously it's very part intensive and it also requires a lot of effort. Mine is nothing in particularly special, but it just does the job. One thing I'm going to change, I just want to see exactly what I want to add detail wise. I just put some random details here and there, similar to this side, just some random animals and some leaves and some flowers. Just want to see, as I usually do when I build something, what I kind of like once it's done. And for example, I'm not really sure I like the flowers at all. Maybe I'll scrap the flowers and add just some leaves, or maybe just add one of these dead kind of branches or whatever they're called, dead flowers. But yeah, one thing I'm gonna change for sure is see how these rock panels are basically the same level. I will kind of cover most of them, like partially here and here, just a little bit more, and change them. So for example, this one is a bit higher, this one is a bit lower, this one is a bit higher, so they just don't so obviously stand in a row. But that's gonna be fine. Like, I just didn't do it now because I just wanted to make the cover and make sure that this part here is hidden basically. And we will work on the whole rock pattern again once I place like the fence around the gray hole, and then we're gonna add these little alleyways, walkways, whatever you want to call them, that go behind and kind of curve on the other side, which I'm not really sure actually exists in the original model and pictures that we've seen from the movies, but I kind of feel like there should be something like that there. And once I work on that, I will obviously edit a little bit here so it kind of fits. So in my mind, it's kind of pointless to go too much into details right here, right now, because in the end, I'll have to change it and realign it with whatever is on the ground. So that was my initial main thinking. Now, yeah, as you can see, I'll try to pop it out now with one hand. There we go. I don't like that too much because, I mean, it's not falling apart, but for example here, where the connection is the weakest over here, it wants really to fall apart. So I might just split it right here in the middle, and just if I want to pull it out, we'll take it in two parts. Now again, I've used the same technique, basically just covering it here with tiles and adding a few of these here and there. Maybe I've added too many. Maybe I should just add like one here and one here for the other part, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, but at the same time it doesn't really take much effort to take out. So yeah, probably. But what I want to talk about is the main reason I really want to put rocks here is these colorations here. And what do I mean by that? Because the platform that's inside the gray hole, here I've used these 16 by 16 plates, and I don't really think that they come in tan, which means that they stick out. It would either mean it has to be increased by one stud here, and then this will not be showing, or I will have to hide them. And the initial design, even when I started this like a year ago, it included this part here because I really want to put rocks. And when I was rebuilding, I thought about changing it, but then thing is, these things need to be hidden because you want to be able to pull out the trays. And I don't want to think about the back over here when I'm building the other side, the insides of the wall. Obviously you can make it double wall, like 2 studs, but then that takes even more pieces and more time, and it takes just goes against the scale of the whole model and things. I don't really like doing that. So the idea to hide it is fine, and it was there in the beginning, but mainly this gray, dark bluish gray line needs to be hidden. So that's why when you place this thing back here, let me see if I can do it properly, and just place a little bit. Yeah, that's why I've added these little pieces here, basically so they just merge with the cover and it looks natural, or as natural as it could look, that the building is actually on top of this rock coming from the ground and built on top of the rocky surface. So there is that. And initially on the older build, this part here was hidden also all the way, but I didn't want to do that this time. Maybe I will continue it just a little bit more and leave it like, if it's up to here, the height of the rocks will be kind of up to here. Just it's like decreasing gradually. Maybe just increase the length a little bit more like this, but it will be gradually decreasing in height. Didn't want to just too many rocks where they're not really necessary. Now, enough about that. The other thing I want to talk about is the base of the grand staircase, which, if memory serves me right, was done, well, quite a while ago now. I'm not really sure how many months ago, but you can see in the videos when the first time was when I actually talked about the grand staircase base. And it has been finished for a while, but since the rebuild and the whole building increased in size by 1/3, and then that meant that the side building that connects the grand staircase to the Great Hall is also increased in size. If I am not deluding myself, I basically increased it by almost 50% in width. So that meant that the platform need to be changed a little bit. And not also that, but the way that the platform here, the little base, is placed in accordance to this building also had to change. I haven't increased the whole circle. I thought about making it bigger, because obviously if everything else increases, then this should too, probably. But after double checking a couple of times, it seems that the proportions of this courtyard, the front courtyard of the Great Hall, and the whole grand staircase base, basically when you pick this up, it has to fit over here, pretty much. And as it is right now, it does. If I make it bigger, it will probably be okay if it's like maybe increased by 2 to 3. Now I believe it's 56 studs in diameter, but if I make it like 60 or 62, probably it will also work, but it would just take a lot of effort to make this again, and I don't think it's really needed. It was important for the circle, this top side. Imagine this is flipped on the other side really, but this side that sticks above this building, or to the right of the building currently as you see it, it needs to be like a little, maybe a fourth of the half circle here to stick to this side, but this building must not be in the middle. It needs to be slightly offside, and this side here needs to stick out just a little bit. It's not 100% perfect, but it's as close as I could make it. Then the bases here that I've used, these 4 enormous base plates, I am probably going to replace them with smaller ones, because it just seems that this is unnecessary to have so much empty space. Still not really sure how exactly I'm going to do everything that is around the grand staircase itself, but once it's built, which I have no idea when that will be, but hopefully one day soon, we will see if I will change them basically with maybe 6 smaller 32 by 32s just like here, which will cover the space needed for the circle and leave less empty space here. It's also important to mention that once this comes over here and the little aqueduct is here, there needs to be a gap where there must not be any base plate, because the aqueduct, obviously there's water down there, and there is like there must not be a base plate basically. So the end of this base plate needs to go up to here. Usually it goes to the middle kind of this wall, but if it's up to 2/3, it's also okay. So this is also probably change, but for now, it's the important thing is that this model here, this circle base, is properly placed. And obviously, if I need to change it, we can take it out and do the same somewhere on different plates. The base itself, as I've mentioned before, it's very important for this to be very sturdy, because I want to be able to pick up the grand staircase, which imagine will be tall. It should be able to take it apart, similar to the gray hole. We'll be able to, like here, we can take off these 3 towers, we can take off the chimney, we can take off the gigantic roof, or most of it anyway, from here to here we can take it off, and also the various trays that increase the weight of this thing, so I can pick it up, move it. Here it will be something similar. The roof will be removable again, and then the tower itself, I doubt I will build it in one whole thing. Probably it will be split into 2 or 3 sections that will stack on top of each other, and whenever I need to move this, I can take them out and obviously take them apart and move everything and then put them back together. But still, this first level that will probably hold 30 to 50% of the tower itself still needs to be very, very solid. So that is why I have done what I've already mentioned that I would do, is place another row of plates underneath. As you can see, we have a row of bricks and 2 rows of plates above them. And before, or last time when I showed you this, we had 1 row of plates underneath. But now we have another one underneath that, so it makes this interesting sandwich. So it's very important for this not to fall apart. I can even hold it right here now with one hand, with my thumb only holding just a little part of it, and the thing doesn't bend, doesn't come apart, pieces are not flying everywhere, which means that when I pick this up with 2 hands with so many pieces, minifigs and whatnot on top of it, it still should be fine, I hope. I can stand on this. I've been jumping on it also, don't laugh, I have been, just to make sure it's sturdy enough that there are no holes really, because obviously not everything inside is covered in bricks. Mainly I have placed them in such a way that the plates that are on top of it have very nice support, so there is, for example, not like a little hole here, so when I press it goes down, it basically goes in, so it was really careful to do that. Again, I will mention that there will be floor on top of this, so the different colors and whatnot and all this ugliness will be hidden, so it's not really important that it looks so randomly built. Also, while I was doing that, I decided that the little parts here where they were sticking out, remember, for example, let me show you, yeah, some of these pieces, because they have so many of these plates. I decided to use most of them here because I doubt I was going to use them anywhere else, at least in the foreseeable future. They were sticking out of the pattern. For example, you see how the pattern is here, and they were sticking a little bit, and before I was talking that's fine anyway, because I'll be hiding this with there will be like little walls here and flowers and plants and whatnot, and it would really not matter. But it turns out that probably it will not matter, but it bothers me if it's not perfect, if it's sticking out things that are outside of the pattern. So I made sure that I removed the parts that were sticking out and I placed them properly this time. And the one last thing, obviously the angle here, as you can notice here, the little angle that is kind of crunched away from the circle. The older version was corresponding with the older building naturally, which means that the gap here had to change. So I changed a little bit. It actually wasn't that big of a hassle that I thought it would be. So it actually was fine. Now just trying to position this properly. There we go. Now I've left this little space of free studs here because why is that? Because I might at some point decide that there should be like a connection here, just an additional, like maybe a Technic pin that I could place here, maybe like a little holder, that just an additional way for this base to connect. As you know, when things are so big, sometimes things don't align so well due to table surface kind of differences, pieces stacking some way or not. So the more connections you have, the better, really. And since I don't really want to go back, sorry, too many times, I just left this here. So if needed, I will just kind of do a little edit in place, like whatever I want to do there, like a pin, something else to connect here. Obviously, we have connections on the floor, these here on several places, which should hold this properly, but still, if I really want to align this better, there are some issues going on, I can align it to this building a lot more. Remember that this tower needs to be really close to this, and I don't really want to have any gaps or anything like that due to surface differences or issues with the tables. And yeah, pretty much that's it. I know it ain't much, but my real life has been pretty hectic recently. I wanted to take a little break and also do other various things with other hobbies and stuff. So sometimes it's really difficult to juggle things around. I kind of tend to be a person that kind of gets into one hobby that I really like currently and really get invested in it, and then I usually burn out a little bit, and then I just need a break sometimes. So now that I have barely not really done anything Lego related for almost a month, I am kind of itching to go get into it and really improve things and progress further. So that being said, what should you expect next time? Well, I don't know for if I've said this so many times now, but yeah, now we can really go into the gray hole. I have figured out a way to place the candles, which maybe I will not have the pieces arrive to me by next video, but also the floor, I will place the floor, need to order pieces for that as well, because I think I will not have enough. If I remember correctly, we actually removed the floor from the gray hole last time, and add minifigs. Now, if will I be able to show you all of that next time? Not sure, but hopefully I'll be able to show you some of it at least. And yeah, pretty much that is it. Also, one last thing, the channel is now 1 year old. That's incredible, really. I think also 1 year has passed since the first Hogwarts video, which was, or maybe it hasn't actually, or it will be in a few days. You can check, not really sure. I think it was August 20 something. But anyway, 1 year, and I'm really glad how much the channel has progressed and how far we've gone building wise, and how much actually has happened in this module, that how many times I've had to rebuild it, and how many things we're adding and keep adding to it, and how many things I still need to add. But yeah, I want to thank everybody that has been supporting me, commenting, giving suggestions, giving me thumbs ups, and really sending positive messages to me about what I'm doing. I really enjoy it most of the time, as long as real life is not too hectic. And I hope that you also enjoy, that you look forward to these videos, and you get at least something little bit for your own builds and for your own entertainment. Thank you very much for watching once again. It's been 1 year. Let's start the new one with even more enthusiasm. Thanks guys for everything, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.